Hey, Jerry, glad you can make it, bud. Welcome to the general store. This is where we do all the furniture restoration, repairs, make my own canvas stretchers. Over here is the photography studio, even though it's kind of messed up right now. This is the light box where I shoot most of my models. Over here is Studio One. One of my newer pieces is hanging on the easel there, Three Faces of Matthew. I've kind of got into resin and making my own tile blocks and stuff. This is a new watercolor I started. My name is John A. Roof. I'm an artist, a photographer, a writer, and a master craftsman at restoration of antiques. The watercolor I did when I was living in Taos, New Mexico in 1970. It got into the Texas Tech Slide Library. And up here is the very first painting I did that hung in an art show. I was 13. In 1974, I was teaching art at Colorado Boys Ranch. If I got 50 students and I put one apple on a table in front of them and tell them to paint it, I will get 50 different paintings because there's 50 different sets of eyes looking at that apple, and they all see that apple differently. I have 3,500 pieces of artwork here of my own in this place. These are some of the woodcut blocks I've got. I can still make prints off of them. This is one of my prints I did. Arnold Palmer was on one night, Johnny Carson, and Johnny Carson said, quote, "I play a lot of golf. Why is your game so much better than mine?" And Arnold Palmer said to Johnny Carson, 1,000,000 strokes. Okay? Why is my art better than some other people's? 1,000,000 paintings. If you look at a tree, no tree is one color. No tree is one piece. It's many pieces. If you don't believe me, look at a board at the lumber yard. It's got all these lines in it. Skies are reflective of a man's soul. In art, there's three processes. You have the idea, you have the production, and the product. Which one's art? Do we really know? I do. It's the idea. An idea is what the art is. So you go from the idea and you produce this art. There's two reasons to do art. You have to have those reasons behind your art. Is intent and content. Your intent has to be honest and sincere. You can't steal other people's ideas or art. It has to be your idea to make it art. That's intent. When you finish, that piece of artwork has to have content. If it doesn't have content, it's not talking to anybody, not even you. Dr. Beebe came over here one day, and he's an author. He writes. And he's looking at all my artwork, and he says to me, "Why do you paint nature?" And I told him, "It's organized chaos. Look at nature. You know the tree is there. You know the branches are there. You know the leaves are there. There's no rhyme or reason how they got put together, but it's an organized piece of tree. It's a tree. It's organized chaos. He laughed, smiled, wrote it down, put it in his pocket. It's probably in one of his new books. Welcome to the big room. It's got some of my bigger paintings in it. There's a few award winners in here also. This one's never been out of the house. It's too big. Won't even fit in a truck or a van. This is called Hope. It's one of my earlier acrylic paintings. It almost is self-explanatory when you look at the sky. Typical student back then. I was moving around from realism to expressionism to impressionism to everything, trying to find which way I wanted to go. This is one of the last paintings I've done. I've got into resin. I'm not sure I know where it's going yet, but I still feel like I need to paint, apply stuff, and then pour resin over the whole thing. Makes it very hard. It's titled Fly. This is the oldest piece of artwork I have in my house. I did it when I was 8 years old, and I gave it to my grandmother, and it hung in her bedroom until she passed away. And my mother sent it back to me. That painting there is 65 years old. Practice makes perfect. And you're always trying to get your expressions out, what your ideas are. An artist is one who never gives up that childhood dream of trying to paint the perfect apple. Anytime y'all want to come down and take a look at some artwork, just hop on in down to Staples, Texas.